What is up? This
Alright.
is SM127. I haven't
And
done
here I am, Mario Cake Girl here.
Oreo Cake Girl 3092. That's right, she's with me. And today we're going to be looking at 40 school moments that still haunt people to this day. So,
Yep, that's right.
there's plenty of school moments that haunt many people even to this day. And even embarrassing stories. I mean, like, I remember being in second grade and being afraid to ask the teacher to use the bathroom, so I ended up peeing myself, and that's the most embarrassing story.
I totally understand that. I
What was
mean,
your
as us human beings, like, we all have our own embarrassing stories, so yeah.
what was yours, if you're comfortable sharing?
Well, for me, I did have an embarrassing story to tell. I would mostly say, like, school-wise. So, I was in my class, like, I was in homeroom, right?
Yeah?
And one of my classmates asked me if I ever, like, had a boyfriend before, and I said no. And then one of my classmates literally asked me the ultimate question. And I'm like, okay, like what is he or she gonna ask me? And it's a guy, by the way.
Yeah?
So he asked me, have you ever had like your first kiss before? That was the most embarrassing question that he ever asked me.
Wow!
I told him no, like in embarrassment, because I didn't know like what to say about that. Like, honestly, like, I never had my first kiss, well, until middle school years began, so,
Well,
yeah, as you can see, that's basically my own embarrassing story to even begin with, as well as much as yours is.
Well, Sophia, you're not the only one. You're far from it. And guys, be glad that your embarrassing stories are not as bad as these. The first one is my sophomore year. I was performing in a Shakespearean monologue competition that was being held at a college near my high school. We got to the theater and we had a bit of time outside to rehearse, mingle, etc. And I snuck off on my own to get a little rehearsal time in without the other competitors seeing what I was doing. I was behind a building and began practicing my monologue. Lagos, what's he then? Says I play the villain. Whilst I was practicing, I saw a window with a reflective surface. It was a Sunday and the campus was pretty barren, so I decided to use it to see, so I could see what it looked like during performing. For those of you that don't know, the speech is a particularly heinous speech in which Lago reveals his plot to turn Othello against his wife, which ultimately leads to her murder. So I accidentally performed Shakespeare in a random class. What? So this person performed Shakespeare in front of the class.
Oh, wow, but to me, though, it's like, I don't know, because to me, though, like, that's pretty embarrassing. Like, I have, like, no words for this at all. Like, damn, like, that's crazy. I'm gonna be
Wow.
for real with you on that one.
So imagine performing Shakespeare in front of the entire class. Like he's got to be
Honestly though, like I did had a similar embarrassing experience like that. Because when I was a freshman, this is actually a true story. I was 14. I just started high school in 2019. If y'all didn't know, by the way, basically, I was a freshman. We were just performing Romeo and Juliet during our past English class. This happened like when I was like in the ninth grade. Yeah, I was a freshman. So they were performing the characters from Romeo and Juliet from William Shakespeare, written by him, of course, famous writer of all time.
Yeah.
And then basically one of my girl classmates kissed our guy classmate in front of the whole class.
In front of the entire class?
Yeah, it happened. Yeah. It did happen a long time ago. That was the same girl classmate that just graduated with me another couple of years later. So, I did forget to tell you about that. So, yeah, after that, my English teacher told her, hey, no kissing allowed in class. I swear, she felt so embarrassed, like she didn't even know what to say about that.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the class, we were just reading the books, and that was just about it. Now that you already read the first one, that actually reminded me of that because to me though, it's like that is the most embarrassing. So I thought I wanted to share my next school embarrassing story experience like this too.
Oh, we're just getting started. Here's number 2. Or should I say, number 1, because math teacher didn't allow me to go to the toilet, couldn't hold it anymore, pissed on the floor through my pants. At least you'll always allow a student to go to the toilet now.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, how come a math teacher didn't even allow one of the students just to go to the damn bathroom? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Second of all, the math teacher should just let the student like just go. Like if you gotta go, then like you really do gotta go. Like you do your business, like you do whatever you gotta do.
Exactly.
That's none of our business.
Exactly. It only takes a few minutes. You're in and out. I mean, you gotta take care of your body.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is that that's just the math teacher's fault. Because like I said, the math teacher should have just let the student, like just to go use the bathroom and like that's it. Like that's just on point proven straight at this point. Like and it's like
Because the next thing you know, you say no to the student, then they're going number 2 in their pants.
Oh yeah, definitely. That is the most embarrassing one of all time. I definitely agree. I definitely choose number 2 for number 1, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so number 3. In first grade, I had to sit down to take a spelling test, and I was kind of thirsty. I went to the water fountain and with my first grade logic, filled my cheeks with water thinking I could savor it for the whole test. I figured I could swallow little sips of water throughout the test and be nice and hydrated throughout. What? This plan backfired when about 5 minutes passed and my cheeks gave way, leading me to spit all the water straight into my desk and the test. And so now there's water everywhere.
That literally made me laugh. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but like that shit just made me laugh.
I know! So now there's water everywhere and my test is ruined and my teacher walks over and says, "Why is your desk all wet?" My only response was, "I don't know." No one asked me any more questions after that.
Honestly, this is definitely number 2 for me, because that literally made me laugh the most. Like, I definitely choose number 3 as number 2 for this. Because honestly though, like, bro, let me tell you something. I could never hold water in my mouth for that long. I'm gonna be for real with you. Like, I could never do that. Even during the middle of
Me either,
school
Sophia.
test. Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you just gotta move on from that. Number 4. When I was in middle school, I ran for student body vice president. I wasn't ambitious enough to run for president. I figured the vice president would be easy and they wouldn't have to do much. I was probably right. Anyway, right before the people voted, all the candidates had to make a speech in front of the student body. In my mind, I had a great angle for my speech. And all the people running for president were girls. My opponent was a girl, and I felt that the student body should be represented by members of both sexes in the interest of equality. Of course, more than 20 years later, I can phrase it like that, but my 11 or 12-year-old self stood up and concluded that when boys and girls get together, good things happen. This followed me into college, in quotes. Halfway across the country. It was in college. I bumped into a freshman who'd gone into my middle school and she remembered my speech.
Oh wow, that is extremely crazy. Like I already have no words for this, but let's keep going. Let's see.
Number 5, 6th grade, it was Pi Day, so we all had to say pi as far as we could go, which for the record, I can remember up to 3.1415926535889.
That's very interesting.
I was extremely nervous because I was gonna mess up near the start. The girl who went before me only made it to 3.141. And I thought to myself, even I can do better than that, in an attempt to calm down. Turns out I said it out loud. The whole class heard me and made the girl cry.
Oh damn, that's crazy.
Worst feeling I've ever had in all my years of school.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh on this one. I'm sorry. No offense to this story, but like...
Yeah, but...
I don't know, because like, that's just really crazy. Other than that, whatever I have to say.
Yeah, but how far can you remember pi?
Not really for me. Because if y'all didn't know, guys, I barely have that much good memory. Sometimes I do have good memory. Sometimes I don't have good memory. It's just like half and half, like in between. So now y'all already know that.
That would be a lot. I mean that would be a lot though. Number 6, calling the teacher mom by accident was the most awkward. I mean, who hasn't done that?
I mean, not a lot of people though, but in this generation, yeah, sometimes, maybe, but probably not so much, you know.
And you ever notice that almost nobody has called their teacher dad by accident? I mean, I've heard of people. I mean, as a matter of fact, I have heard of some people that actually call their teacher dad by accident.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, being like, okay, dad. Oh, I mean, Mr. Gibson.
Wow, I would have been embarrassed myself if I ever called a guy teacher that, or maybe a girl teacher by mom.
Yeah.
Literally, like, damn.
7, 6th grade. I had a crush on this girl. It was my first crush. She was a cheerleader, cute, smart, and funny. I was in love. Sadly, it was not reciprocated. I used to write her love letters and slip her into her locker. One day, this kid saw me put the note in, and after I walked away, he fished it out with a paperclip. Later, he proceeded to read it to most of the 6th grade class before an assembly. I was absolutely humiliated for about 2 days till everyone forgot about it. That's also the story about how I got into my first fight. Edit. For everyone interested, I did win the fight. Well,
Oh, that's crazy.
at least you won the fight, so at least it's not.
I know.
So at least it's not all embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean that one's okay though. I mean that one is okay though. I'm gonna be honest on that.
Speaking of number 2, which we talked about earlier, number 8, had to poop super bad. So as I left for recess after lunch, I tried to go back in and the doors were locked. I couldn't run around by that time. I pooped my pants. No one else was out then, so I pooped in the garbage in the garbage can and ran to where we would usually hang out.
Bro, I could never do that in public. Okay, that one is definitely top number 3. That one also made me laugh too. Like
Yeah.
literally.
It's one thing to crap your pants, but crapping into a garbage can.
Oh god, bro. I can't stop laughing.
Like you released your stool in the garbage can.
I know, like that's crazy though. Like don't
Yeah.
you think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 9, sophomore year of high school, asking a girl out while I was talking to her, and my tongue must have moved just the right way, and drops of saliva shot out and hit her face. I believe this is called gleeking. Awkward silence ensued, followed by no first date. Yay, awkward me.
Oh no, that's crazy. Okay, that is the most embarrassing one. Definitely top number 1.
Imagine,
Have to say that.
Yeah, imagine asking someone out. Suppose you love someone so much, and you want to ask them out.
Yeah.
You want to take them on a date, and that happens.
Yeah, I know.
That'll make you want to disappear off the face of Earth.
Yeah, basically that, yeah.
Number 10. At a swim meet, my friend had just won the race, and he broke his personal record. 15 to 20 minutes after his race, I saw him from the back. I saw him from the back and...
What happened?
Oh, it refreshed. I saw him from the back and walked over. I then hugged him from the behind and squealed just about how well he did. I remember wondering why he was talking to people from the other school. I let go, and he turned around. It wasn't him. I stammered something about how I thought he was someone else and walked away in shame. So it was somebody else.
Oh wow, it's like he thought that the other dude was someone else.
Yeah, I could relate to that a lot. Like going to someone.
Yeah, same here sometimes. Same here for
Yeah,
me.
you go to someone thinking that it's somebody that you know, only to find out that it's a person that you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that can also somewhat relate to that too. So, yeah, I mean, that's just in my own conclusion. So, you know. You already know what I mean.
Yeah, I already know exactly what you mean. 11. I have Zombie Cafe and my iPad, and I happen to have my iPod in class with me. In the middle of a lecture, my iPod decided to notify me that hamburgers and flies had finished cooking. Now, the notification is really loud, whether you have your iPod totally silent or not. So basically the entire class heard blah 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 history, blah blah blah. Brain.
Can you please repeat that again, bro? I gotta laugh at this.
So basically, the entire class heard blah 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 history, blah 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 moments like brains.
Bro, I am wheezing. That basically means that I'm just laughing at this. Like, oh my god. Okay, keep going.
The whole class burst into laughter, and I'll never forget the look my teacher gave me. I wanted to sink to the ground. I was so embarrassed.
That probably just like the funny ass steak face, literally.
Number 12. While sitting in psychology one day, I watched the cockroach crawl out of a girl's pants onto the floor. The roach proceeded to crawl around for what seemed like a minute, probably much less, before crawling back up the leg of the girl's pants. I looked up in wide-eyed terror, only to lock eyes with a teacher who shared my expression. To those asking, I had no idea how to even begin a conversation about what I had seen. That's what made it awkward. I couldn't just walk up to the girl and say, I saw your roach, if you know what I mean. I couldn't even approach with the subject without anybody else ruining the girl's life. Well,
wow, that's crazy.
All I could do was always keep my feet off the floor of that class. Yeah, especially if you're wearing flip-flops. You better be careful, especially if you're wearing flip-flops without socks.
Or even just wearing like Mac Crocs, like literally.
Crocs especially.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, that too.
13. In college, I'm a little forgetful and don't remember in a large classroom unless I engage with them. So one day I'm late to class and frazzled and I walk in and don't recognize anyone and say I think I'm in the wrong classroom. My class laughs and says, no, you're not, just sit down. I was quite embarrassed.
I mean, for me, I cannot relate to this because I have never been in that situation, but I don't know for you though. I've been
in the wrong classroom before, but I've never been so late that I thought I was in the wrong classroom, but I was in the right classroom all along.
Totally understandable. I mean, hey, I totally get that, you know.
14. I fell asleep at my desk during a serious lecture. I had one of those really severe sleep twitches and woke up spazzing so hard I flung everything on my desk and screamed at the top of my voice. Awkwardness ensued. I heard the
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, hey, I can still relate to the first beginning of this, but even though for me it's just high school wise, but now like in college wise though, because half of the damn time, like, I would normally just be sleeping. Like, just so you guys know from his video, like, I always sleep sometimes during free time, during class time, but not during the work time. Like,
not during work time.
Like, free time classes. Yeah. Yep, basically that.
Yeah, never fall asleep in class, folks. 15.
Yep, lesson learned.
The really shy girl in my class puked so violently, people didn't notice until the smell filled the room. I feel bad for that girl.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I feel so sorry, like, for her though. I totally know how she feels though. Trust me.
I mean, someone throwing up quietly in the class. I mean,
that is not a good feeling.
That's the worst thing.
That I can understand, yeah.
That's the worst thing. Throwing up so quietly that nobody notices that you threw up until they see a large puddle on the floor, plus the smell of stomach acid.
Yeah, that's not... No, that is not the best feeling.
Like, all over the floor, because I remember having the norovirus back in November, tried to crawl to the bathroom, and I threw up all over the floor. And it was a big mess.
Yeah, basically that, yeah.
16. My physics teacher one day got a call early in the morning. The call only lasted for 10 seconds. But when it ended, she ran out of the class all crying and never came back. A few weeks later, we were learning about Newton's first law. For those who don't know, it states an object will keep moving until a force stops it. As an example, our physics teacher used this. Imagine your aunt will be driving a car at 100 kilometers per hour.
Correct.
Yeah, but yeah. At one point, she'll hit a tree. Even though the car will immediately stop, your aunt will still go flying into the tree at 100 kilometers per hour. Once your aunt will hit the tree, not only her motion will stop, but so will her life. What?
Okay, the ending was, the ending got dark.
That ending,
I'm gonna be for real honest, so, like, the ending got me, like, the goosebumps.
that's the ending that'll make you shed a
It's
tear.
somewhat dark, though.
That is the ending that'll make you shed a tear.
Yeah, it still gave goosebumps, but yeah, I had never heard a story like that actually gave me the goosebumps for the first time.
17. When I was 6 in senior infants, my teacher asked me and a classmate to take a message to my third class, which is my older brother's class. I was so excited to be doing this because A, bringing messages to other classes was fun, and B, because I'd be going to my brother's class. So we set off for the classroom. Just as we knock, we realize neither of us remember what the message is. Panic kicks in as the teacher is very sarcastic. Ronald Dahl John, please kind of man, lets us in. I stand there at the top of class silently. The teacher impatiently asks me what it is, and I had to say, and all I can say is, I forgot, in a lisp, with my hand covering my face, doubly embarrassing, because this was an Irish language primary school, and I should have been speaking as Gaelic. For years after that, all my brother's classmates would say, "Ah, ho go," what my shy I forgot apparently sounded like whenever they saw me. Also, it turned out that the message that was my brother was also absent that day. That was the message?
Wow, like, that's the message? That's exactly what my mind was just about to say. Like I'm gonna be for real honest on that, though.
That's it? That was the message? 18.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, but okay, let's go on.
Before I begin, I just want to state that I have shared this on Reddit before, and it was just the most awkward situation I was ever a part of during high school. I was heading to my locker during my spare block after a lunch to grab Pop-Tart out of my locker when I see this girl from another high school in the hallway. She used to go to our school, but she got expelled for showing up to class drunk. What? Drinking underage?
Oh, wow.
Anyways, I see her.
People, lesson learned, don't ever drink at a young age. And I mean like drinking, like literally.
Anyways, I see her in the hallway, and I walked into her and say, "Hey." Before I could even utter a word, she runs right into me and jumps on me, giving me a massive bear hug. As she's hugging me, I can smell the whiskey on her breath. She lets go of me, and I ask her what she's doing here, and she says she was here to see a substitute teacher. Let's call him Mr. Williams. She had heard he was going to be teaching here today, and she needed to speak with him. I'm bored during my spare, so I decide I'll help find Mr. Williams. I didn't ask why she needed to see him. I wish I had, though, or else I wouldn't have helped her find him. Anyway, we go to the classroom, looking for him, and we must have searched 7 or 8 before we found him. When she walked into that classroom, he looked like he'd seen a ghost. I've never seen a man look as scared as he did in my entire life. She gets right into the middle of the classroom, and in her inebriated state, she blurts out that she's pregnant and that Mr. Williams is the father. What? So you're telling me that Mr. Williams and you did it?
Wow. So you're basically telling the whole entire classroom to this teacher called Mr. Williams that he's the father and that she's already pregnant. after y'all have sex, and I'm like, okay, like that's illegal, bro. Like, what are you doing? This could cost you your job.
And then
First of all, Mr. Williams, and the student costing her life as a whole high school student.
and then go, and then going off this elaborate tangent, yelling at this guy about how he hasn't returned her phone calls or texts since the last time they had sex at his place. She asks him why he hasn't returned his phone calls. He's just standing there in a state of shock, unable to put a coherent sentence together. Then she begins to cry and asks him if it's because she isn't attractive enough. And wow, not attractive enough?
Wow, that's crazy.
And the sexiest woman, wow. And once she yelled, I just got the hell out of here. I didn't want to be around the principal or any other teachers that showed up.
Wow, that's crazy.
19. That's just crazy.
I totally agree with you, yeah. That is
19.
my first craziest number one, yeah.
That is just the craziest number one. Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh yeah, definitely that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, anyway, for number 19, if I could just get that. But yeah, 19 is, I'm the teacher in this case. One of my grade A boys meant to say, can you teach me? But instead he said, can you touch me? Cue awkward silence as the whole class stares at me, waiting for my response. For those asking how I responded, I said nope, and continued talking about math.
Wow, that must have been real awkward.
Yeah, I could only imagine the scene being like, can you touch me? No.
Bro, that is crazy. Hell no, that's crazy.
No, you can't touch me. Anyway, what is the antiderivative of x to the n?
The y? I don't know.
Well, for anyone who's curious, it's x to the n plus 1 all over n plus 1 plus c.
Oh, I see. I never knew that. Now I already know.
All right, and finally, we're gonna stop after number 20. Number 20, I went up to the front of the room to answer a question on the blackboard. While I was waiting to get chalk, I tried to be funny by doing stretches without the teacher looking. I ripped my trousers for the whole class to see.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I'm sorry, you ripped your pants.
Yeah, no. This is actually the last number 2, the most craziest, embarrassing story that I have ever seen and read from you so far, basically.
Exactly, that, and I would continue with this, but I feel like this video has already gone really long. And I'm glad that I'm back to doing a collaborative reaction video for the first time in, what was it? I feel like the last time I did a collaborative reaction video was in 2022, so it's been a while. And I feel like
basically like 2 to 3 years for you though.
Yeah, the last time I did it was with Rihanna, but I'm glad I'm back.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's important to keep up with like time and time though, just to do like certain collaborations, especially when it comes to making like YouTube videos wise. So yeah, I mean,
so make sure
it's good to go back to once in a while though.
So make sure you subscribe to Oreo Cake 3092.
And make sure that you also comment down below and give it a like and subscribe to his channel too.
Thank you so much for watching this, and keep liking, commenting, and subscribing.